going live. Low latency. Okay, stream health, good. OBS, good. All right, folks. So I am back here again. Um, I missed out on Friday because I had to go where I went to go to my nephew's robotics club to check out their 3D printer. They were having some issues. I met with like the guy who runs the show, right? The teacher there of robotics. Seemed like a good dude. Um, my nephew really likes that class, and it was it was good to see him in his own little element. He is vice president of the robotics club, and he and his friends are really they're really trying to push to standardize what's going on in robotics club. So like they teach they started like a lecture series on programming Python because that's Python and Java are what the robotics club robot runs on. So they're getting them up to speed with that, and then a lot of other stuff. But yeah, that is why I was not here on Monday. I went to go check out my nephew's robotics club and their 3D printer. So today, like you can see, I am set up for just some FreeCAD stuff, trying to finish up whatever we were doing earlier so that that you guys can understand kind of how to do it, and so I can understand how to. That's really it, it's right? It's reinforcing um, things for me. So before we start that, I wanted to show you I got the iMac set up. Um, I gutted it out. I've got to change some of the connectors on the speakers so that I can use them with the LCD driver, but right now it's in a rough state because I have to build some boxes or design some boxes or enclosures so that everything looks kind of neater. But the idea is to put this thing in its old enclosure. You guys can see that. Let's move that out of the way. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. There is the screen. Right. Uh, I figure it'd be best placed right in front of me while I'm doing the live stream stuff, so I can have Google the YouTube Studio in front of me, right? So I can see comments instead of having to look to my left for that. Other than that, let me show you what else we're working on today. So we've got the parts ready to go start assembling for the 3D printer stuff. So let's get started, shall we? So when we left last time, we were working on the mount. I got to change that to CAD. You can see that we've got mostly everything going. The only thing I couldn't figure out how to do um, was the flange. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to delete this actually because um, I don't actually need that. I don't need that sketch. I do need this datum plane, so we're going to turn that on, and I'm going to change the location of this datum plane. Uh, I think it's 5.5. All right, let's see here. That's close enough. All right, we're gonna do that, and that is the place we're gonna sketch on. So we want a new sketch, and that's good. We're gonna go here. We're gonna turn the datum plane off, but we are sketching on that plane now. So let's do that. Yeah. So we should be able to sketch on the plane. So I figured out how to do it correctly this time. So FreeCAD works on constraints, and since we had the length defined already, um, what I can do is I can go here and I can just change the construction, and we're going to throw that in the center there, and I want to define with a radius, Shift R. I want to say that's 23, 46 is the flange area. So I'm going to go back to the 2D drawings that we had, and I'm going to pick out a few things. Um, Instead of doing angles, what I'm going to do is distance between the 2 points, because that's how we measured it last time. So we kind of just right. So I think it'd be easier if I do this. So on Shapered, what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these. Get rid of these fillets or chamfers, so we get a better reading on it. And then we're going to go top, and then we're just going to draw lines to get those measurements. There we go. Yeah. So I want a line from there to there to there, 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 and there. And then from that, I want ideally I'd like a reference point that I can get easily, and we will use this. 4850, 48.5. Draw this guy. There to there, I want oh, yes. Let's just do that. We're going to rotate it on the point here. It was 39.311, and you make that negative. All right, so that's the reference point there, and our starting point we'll say is this guy here. So let's add another line, and the angle on this is 63. So, well, actually, let's extend that line all the way through. So we're going to go here, extend it all the way through, and then we're going to do point to point, and that'll give us a distance that we can use. So in FreeCAD, what we're going to do is we're going to make that initial circle. This is 46, and then we want another circle. And we can define this as radius is 24.25. So that gets us to our mounting holes. And then we need to get starting angles. So let's get a line going in the center here, all the way to this guy. And I want to define this. Need to delete this. There is a constraint here. Alright, where are you? Line. With this guy, I want the angle. We need to add 39,311. Okay, so this constraint needs to go. Line versus that. Define the angle. Simply add 39,311. So, define that angle. I want these to be coincidence. All right, let me take that constraint off. And okay, delete that. There we go. And these guys I want to be tangents. Plus that. Plus this guy I want to be. Why is that not working? Why can't I select this individual vertex? Oh, freeCAD, man. There we go. So that point there is established, and then we need a line from there. Oops, that was the wrong one. That's the one we want. So there to there. So I want these guys to be on the same thing here. And I want to find this length. So we jump over to this guy here, and that is 25.54. I'm going to say 25.54. Delete that. Now we'll go ahead and draw that in there. 25.54. Let me see. That is not right. Four. You know, we're just going to draw a new line. So we want to start there. We want to find this as 25.54. There's no contradicting, right? These are constrained, right? So I can define this length, 25.54. Where is the conflicting constraint? Right? It's not. 25, 4. I don't understand. I don't understand why it's not working. Right? I don't understand. We can delete that. And I want to give this a length, 25, 5, 4. Okay. So this guy and this guy need to be tangent. And this guy and this guy need to be tangent. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we've got starting points now. So what I can do here is I can draw line there and there, and it should be auto-constrained to it. And then what I want to do next is another. So this plus this coincidence. Do that. That. Along with this guy here, I want tangent. That should give me, or should give us the starting point at least. I need this guy to be 20.8. And then I'm going to take this vertex. Along with this guy, make them coincidence. This guy, I want it tangent. So I'm doing it this way so that we can adjust. So it's easier to adjust in the once we kind of extrude everything, it'll be easier to adjust instead of doing the angles. I think the angles, that's a measurement you can't really get in real life. So by doing it this way, we can slowly tweak it without having to worry about angles. So from this guy, I'm going to draw another line. From there to there. And what do we have here? This is 212175. Right. 212175. And I want those guys to be coincidence. I want this vertex and this guy to be tangent, or to, oh, like that. Get another line. And this guy, Shift D should be 17.9. So we type 17.9. Let's go. Oops. I'm going to coincidence that, and I want this guy. This guy to be there. Get another line going. Shift D. This is 30.9. We pop that in there, and we can coincidence these guys. That can be attached there. And then this line. Shift what is this length here? This is 2175. 2175. Gonna pop that in there again. Go ahead and coincidence those, and I want to get this guy and this guy attached. So we're gonna go Shift O, and then that should be it for now. We could draw the line from there to there. I guess we will do that. So that. Coincidence those. Coincidence. So we have our overall structure here, and we can switch over from construction to actual lines. And what I'm going to do next is to construct a circle from these arcs, or from these points here, right? So the arcs, instead of circles, I'm just going to do some arcs from here to here, here to here, and here to here, so that we can subtract those from the actual, the actual thing here, right? So I want to do there, there, right? What I need to do next is I need to define this arc. So let's go ahead and do that. That should be 24, 23, I'm sorry. I want to coincidence these guys and these guys. So I believe if I change this, I should be able to change the length of that. And you can see it changes this guy here. But we're working with negative space right now, right? Here, here. Oops, that's the wrong angle. All right. Start with the big guy here. Let's define that. No. Arc. Define the radius as 23. Coincidence those. Coincidence those. And coincidence those. We're going to do the same thing here. Let's get another arc going from the center there to there. I want to get the so we're going to coincidence that. All right, and then the last one here. Let's get another arc going. So Shift R 23. Let's coincidence that. And zoom in, coincidence that. And coincidence that. So if we look at that, we should be good. And then I need to make another circle on the inside. Well, I need to draw lines. we'll do it that way. Yeah. So I want to see what the length of this line is here. So from here to here, that's 1.25. So what we can do with that by jumping over here is what I want to do first is I want to draw a line, and I want to define that line's length as 1.25. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this point and this point and coincidence them, and then I would like this to be not tangent, I want it perpendicular, so it's always pointing to the center. There we go. So it's always pointing to the center, and since that's there, I'm going to draw another one here. And you can see what I'm going to do from here, right? So I'm just going to keep doing this. It's coincidence that, and I want this line to this line. I want it perpendicular. And then the arc itself, right? Since we have everything, right? We're going to go like this and say, hey, I want arc like that and like that. And these two will be coincidence, and this guy with this vertex will be attached. Coincidence, right? And then this guy and this guy will be connected. So if we make a change to this length here, we're going to adjust the entirety of this, right? So this one here is 21,2175, right? Let's just put it at 25. We can change the length of that, and it'll change the entire cutout, which is what we're looking for. We're looking to think about how we can design it so that we can adjust parameters that are significant to us, that are meaningful. So let's keep on doing that. Shift D, okay. Shift D, 1, 2, 5. Coincidence. This guy, how do I call that perpendicular? And so I'm wondering if I can make a line. What if I said, what if I wanted these two lines to be the same? Right, so if I went there and there and coincidence that, is this perpendicular? I have that constraint. I don't want that constraint. I want it to be perpendicular, but is this? I believe that works. Since it's equal, it should be the same. Which, in the end, makes it so it's adjustable, which I probably should go back and fix on the other ones, but, you know, we're almost there, halfway there, so, or I guess a third of the way there, so I'm not really going to do that. Oops. Coincidence, so they're perfect. So let's get a line going. We want this guy, and oops, yeah. just go with this guy. I want them to be equal. This vertex and this vertex. Coincidence, and then want that to be tangent or perpendicular. We want another line. Want them to be equal. And coincidence and perpendicular. Then I want another arc. Do you guys remember arc music? Rebecca Black and that one dude. So interesting. Wait, what is this? Ah, that is right. So I want these guys to be coincidence. So I was talking to a friend about that the other day, and turns out the friend who was in the passenger seat, the girl has her own music too. Why is that not? Oh, it's coincidence that. All right, there we go. Then what I can do is I can press escape, and we're out of that. From there, what I want to do is create a pocket. We're going to reverse it, and we're only going to make it 2 millimeters, which really should be 1.6, right? 1.6. I don't think that's right. All right, let's create a pocket. Reverse it. Oh, interesting. There is a little bit of a ledge there. That's fine. That should be okay. So we'll make it 2 millimeters, and okay. There we go. Look at that. There's the flange. Last thing we need to do is get, or two things we need to do actually. We need to get the mounting holes, and then also the indexing pin. But I mean, we can use. I'm going to show you something pretty simple. And we should be able to get it done. So let's jump into it again. That's great. And then let me show you why we did what we did there. Pop the sketch open, look at the constraints, and one of them is that. So if we change this to 26, oops, which one did I change? If we change this to 26, there we go. See, we can change that. That'll, uh-oh, uh-oh. Go and update that. Yeah. So once you change it, you can update it, right? So everything is kind of good there. So like if you're slightly off on the dimensions of the flange, you can go back and change it. So last thing we're going to do, or the last two things we're going to do, is create the mounting holes. So this datum plane here, turn that on. I'm going to bring it down its position to about 3. So if we rotate it, okay, probably need to be down a little bit more. 0.5. So we need to be on this ridge here because we're going to be pocketing through it too. And I want to make sure we clear it when we go down. So let's jump back there. I'm going to turn that off. We're going to start sketching again. I don't know why I popped this over there. We're going to start with the construction again. Then I want to define this 2425. Let's get a line, coincidence that, give this an angle. I'm going to go 90 plus 39.311. That gets us that. And I want these guys to be like that. So this is our first mounting hole. And all we have to do from here is I don't know how to do this in one step, but I'm pretty sure we can do it in two. So the first one is to create a circle on that coincidence stem, and then we want to give it a radius, and this radius is going to be 1, which is our mounting hole. Oh, I'm sorry, that should be an actual radius, right? So I want that to be 1, and I want these guys to be coincidence on each other, like that. So we're done here, and I want to pocket that. We're going to reverse it, and we're going to go through all. Say OK. So that is that. Oh, -550. Okay, that's my fault. You know what? Let's just bring it back up. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. It's affecting, so if we get out of that. So we go back here, yeah. So we're gonna make a new pocket based off this. It was affecting the overall thing, so we're gonna go through all reversed, and that gets us our first mounting hole. Cancel that. I need to adjust the angle of this, so I want to go back into it. And the bottom. This is actually incorrect. So this angle here needs to be changed. I think negative should do it. We did negative 180, 270, negative 270. negative 90, negative 90 minus 39.33. That doesn't get me to what I need. I need to add it. Negative 90 plus 39.311. There we go. So I'm going to escape that. We're going to run the pocket now. Through all reverse. Okay. And then we're going to start a new sketch on the datum plane again. And it keeps giving me the wrong orientation. This is the actual orientation that we should be looking at. It's a little bit frustrating, but totally fine. We're going to start with another construction circle. Coincidence. And I want this guy's radius to be 2425. Oops. Line. Coincidence to this guy. We want to give it an angle. 90 minus 39.31 gives me the correct thing. Control O, Shift O, and then I want the actual circle. And it's going to be a 3 millimeter radius. So, or 3 millimeter. Yeah, so it'll be that. And then we're going to coincidence them. Going to escape out of that model. I want to turn off the data plane again, and I want to create another pocket. So let's go pocket, pocket, reverse, and so 7 should do fine. That'll give us an inset there. Okay, let me change that actually. I want this to be, I'm just going to make it 4 millimeters, so it's a 2 millimeters there. And we're going to escape out of it, and we should have enough space for the bolt head. Then the last thing we want to do is simply say, hey, you know what, I need to create a polar feature, and I want to have it multiplied 3 times over. Okay. I think I need to do it multiple times, right? Yeah. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to go to this polar pattern and do the same thing. So we got to do it twice. Pocket 2. And do it 3 times. There we go. Perfect. All right, so it's a polar pattern. That is our mount. Our mount. We go here. You can see that they're pretty much the same now. They are not the same. They are the same, right? This, that. Yeah, the mounts should be the same there. So this guy here, there we go. This is the correct view. Somewhere there. But from here to there is going to be the lens pin. And that's that. So we're just going to save that. And then from here, I think we can export it as a, should be able to export it as an STL. Yeah, STL. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to jump over to the construction stuff. So yeah, there's still a lot that I need to learn with freeCAD. Again, I need to seriously sit down and start working with it because it is quite a powerful CAD tool, and if I know how to use it, it only makes me a better designer. Um, so let's see here. I'm gonna pop this there and pop that guy over there. So on my screens on the left here, I have OBS, and then I have YouTube open for some music. And then on the main screen here in front of me is the live stream information from YouTube on my other account. Today we're going to be working through 80 to 90. Before we do that, we're going to show you guys something. I got this in the mail the other day. I needed to my old developer ran out and it started giving me bad results, so I needed to get a new kit. So I've got to mix this up for this weekend, get some rules developed. And that. And I also need to find a better scanner. The scanners that I've been printing are like half-assed designs that I made. Not too happy with. Oh, one last thing. This guy is done. This the Leica M mount wiggle lens is done. I have to get my Leica back or my Minolta CL back to test fitment, but this lock ring now fits over the flange here, and it still interfaces correctly. So it's got this little protrusion here. Uses the same standard M 1.6 by 5 that I'm always using for this here, and also for this. I probably need to enlarge these holes a little, but the STL should be up shortly. Once I verify it works on my Minolta CL. You may need, if you do get this, you may need to make sure it mounts onto yours correctly. So yeah, just make sure it mounts on yours correctly. But that guy, this guy is all donezo. I'll be right back with another one real quick. Oh boy, I am out of breath. All right, this here is the M42 mount. Right, so the only way for this to actually work is to have this, the mount ring, free floating. So it free floats on there. Um, and it connects like so. So let's take this guy off. Yes, the lens cap, rear cap needs to be that big to fit the baffle. So I don't believe the TLS or a lot of these, oops, they don't have, I don't remember if I have film in here or not, but yes. So this part goes down on the bottom, like so. And then, I might actually be wrong on that. I think it's the other way around. No, I think I was right the first time. Right, so it doesn't have a mirror lockup. So what we need to do is we need to manually lift it and then just kind of find out where it should be. And I'm turning it left to try to find where the thread starts so that I can screw it on correctly. There we go. It is a trick I learned from a CNC class that I took a while ago. So there we go. It is locked and ready to go. You can, oh no, oh no. Right. So with the TLS, I forgot. If you don't have mirror lockup, essentially what happens is you have to set your shutter speed. Aperture is f, I think 11. So uh, every time you advance your lever, when you release it, that's the shutter. You need to reset it by pushing the shutter button, but every time you release is a shot. So it's kind of weird, but that's the only way that it'll work because the mirror is locked up. And on this particular TLS, when the mirror goes up, it fires the shutter. So that mechanism is connected directly to the mirror itself. Um, I just wasted so much film there. But that is the M42 version, uh, which should be up shortly because I believe it is good to go. I'm sure I'll get some notes when people actually download it and print it, but the threads are on correctly and everything winds up being mounted correctly, just like this. Oh, on this one, what I'm trying to figure out is the best way to develop this rear mount. What you can see is I used a cross pattern or X pattern to kind of lock them into place, but I need to make sure that when they print this, or when people print it, it prints out correctly because this is the flange distance here, and if this is incorrect, registration is off. And I mean, like I can get it as close as possible. I just want it as easy as possible for people to print it without too many issues. But I do hate these M42 modes. They're I don't know. They're just it's no bueno, man. It's no bueno. And then what I have here is the FD version of the wiggle lens, right? So we can take that off, put the cap off, and take this guy off. And this one does have a mirror lockup, right? So what you do is you push it over to the L, pull the lever, and then you bring it over there. That is mirror lockup. So we can drop that guy in. There we go. Lock it in and take the photo. Generally, I recommend just throwing this in 125 with the f11 or f13 f-stop, and it pretty much should be on par or spot on every time, because that's what the Kodak fun savers are set at 125. It looks so ridiculous, but yeah, it's set at 125, and its f-stop is f11. So yeah, these three, the FD, M42, and M wiggle lens should be up relatively shortly, because I think they are ready to go. I haven't had an issue yet on these old cameras. Okay, so let's get into it. Enough. So we're going to assemble these lenses. Lighter. Where's my lighter? There it is. I believe we might have to refill this soon. I think I've done it on the live stream. I'll show you guys. But yeah, so like I was saying when this started, I went over to my nephew's robotics class, or robotics club, um, and they're doing some great stuff over there, like a lot more than I thought it was. They're doing a lot of, I guess it's machine learning, or I guess it would be like automation in terms of, so the competition is uh, kind of a state. So it's Georgia and North Carolina or South Carolina, one of those, and they compete with each other at the state level, right? Um, and if they do well there, they go to nationals, which I believe is in Texas. But the robotics club competes to make robots that are competing in, I guess, robotic sports. Last year was basketball, so they played like robot basketball. They had to develop a robot that could do two things. One is to shoot a basket or a ball into a basket, and then the other thing was to climb kind of a set of bars, right? So they need to climb this, there, and there. So there was two qualifications there that they needed to be able to do, and they did pretty well, but uh, did not get to nationals to compete with the to compete. I guess to compete on the national level. They were knocked out by a private school that surprisingly made the frame of their robot out of plywood, which was lighter than the aluminum that they were using, the extruded aluminum, not 2020, but just regular extruded aluminum. Okay, I'm looking for my aperture blades right now. Give me a sec. I don't know where they are. But yeah, I think it's great. Like this kid knows more than I do on like almost everything. It's crazy. These kids are gonna change the world. I'm gonna sit here on the live stream, just wishing I could do something, but not be able to. I may or may not be. Uh, there it is. So I went there kind of to check it out and kind of to see what I could do to help. And I think what I can do to help, what I what their instructor was saying is that usually when they go on these when they go on their competitions, they just need um, people to keep count of the students or to keep track of them. So I mean, I think that's the most I can do. I think I'd be out of my depth in terms of all that other stuff. I will say this much though, their shop is it's they're getting a new one, which is I think a good thing. Um, but they've got this old Craftsman table saw that has the what's that thing, the crosscut guides, right? But these crosscut guides, instead of being the standard 3 1/4 inch like this, so that you can pass through easily, they have these tabs, right? To I guess to keep whatever in line, but I think that's just stupid. I hate these because you can't make a standard crosscut sled that works with these tabs. And I have a Ryobi that you shouldn't buy, but it had those tabs, and I had to spend like a day just filing them down so that I could run a proper crosscut sled through. Um, yeah, give me 1 second here. All right, so yeah, hopefully I can help out. And I know I won't be too much of a help because I don't have a STEM background. I have no background in STEM, right? Um, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So like I was saying earlier, I got the LCD driver for the iMac screen, and everything works. I had an issue initially where it was the colors were inverted. So I messaged the seller, and the seller said to just swap some wires on the connector. So I did that, and now we're good to go. The only thing I need to do now is to make an enclosure for the electronics, and then I need to change out the plug here on the speaker to one that is accepted on the board so that I can get audio coming through the original speakers on the iMac. Um, and I might actually have to cut the frame so that I can fit the enclosure for the electronics in the back and easily access them. And then I'm going to throw the old bezel on, and I'm going to try to find a touchscreen overlay. Um, More than likely, I'm going to get a 22-inch 16 by 10 touchscreen overlay so that I can add touchscreen to it or touch abilities to it. Right, so, um, and once that gets, I mean, that's like down the line. I don't even know if I really want to do it, but I think the screen itself is great. Um, I'm considering picking up the 27-inch version, but just the LCD, and then building around it, building an enclosure for it, because the screen itself, the ones from the iMac 27-inch, from what I understand, they're all 5K Retina versions. So the panels themselves, like if you don't buy it specifically from the if you don't buy a specific iMac 27-inch model. Um, the panels are pretty cheap. They're anywhere from like $60 to 125. And then the driver for the LCD is like $30. So in total, you're gonna pay like 90 to $150 for a 20-inch or a 27-inch 5K monitor, which I think is bonkers, right? I was looking at prices for a 27-inch monitor, and they're roughly like 5 to 600. And the other benefit is the the color reproduction on the iMac. Um, it's very good, right? Like I have a color calibrator, but for the most part, I haven't had to use it on this iMac screen yet. Um, because again, the panels themselves, great color reproduction. Um, so there's less worry about having to calibrate, but I probably will calibrate it once I get everything closed up. Um, and once it gets closed up, then yeah, we'll look at calibrating it, but right now it looks fine. Perfect. So I've been looking at the Scan H, and every time I look at it, the more I want it, you know? Um, I think it's just going to uh, it's going to propel some of the designs that I'm thinking about in my head much quicker than me having to measure things and trying to get them as correct as possible in a sketch on either freeCAD or through Shapered. Um, that that alone, the accuracy is going to save me so much time in terms of prototyping because I won't have to worry about fitment issues because I'll know that it's to maybe like zero point 0.5 or 0.25 millimeters in accuracy. Um, so it's just going to make things so much easier to design for things that are already made, right? So there's going to be more learning in terms of having to, you know, um, what do you call that? Reverse engineer the product itself, but um, it's going to be less time in the long run because I don't have to worry about making sure that things are accurate because I'll know should be with the scanner there. Um, so I'll print out the FreeCAD model, and we'll see how it fits. Shouldn't be too long of a print, but I will have to show it on Friday because I don't think I'll get it printed today. I've got a few things on the printer that I need so that I can keep up with the lens production here. Now, it was cold today, and I'm wearing a sweater now, and I'm sweating for some reason. It's kind of unreasonable. Perfect. I need the clutch, which is right here. So I realize I've been neglecting my emails, and I need to get back to them so that people know where I am. I need to do a mass email to the Squarespace or the store buyers or backers so that they're in the loop of what I'm doing. Because I don't want to feel like I don't want them to feel that I'm leaving them high and dry, like I'm taking the money and running, right? But something I'm not doing. I'm just kind of here quietly, surely but slowly, um, finishing these up. Perfect, right? That's good. I believe you guys can see that. Yeah. But the aperture closes down, um, synchronized. So we're going to set that aside. Yeah, it's pretty good. Set that aside. Oh yeah, but back to their shop. That table saw is terrible. Um, I really don't understand why those tabs are there. I'm sure there's a reason, right? But not one that I can find that's valid for me, right? It makes no sense to have those tabs in the uh, crosscut sled, um, in the crosscut slide. It's not. I guess it's an easy way to mitigate issues with the miter gauge, with consumer grade gauges, but I think you're doing a disservice to your customers, providing a subpar um, system for mounting or for utilizing crosscut sleds. Um, because if you're not using a crosscut sled on your table saw, you're doing something wrong. I don't care. Do not care if you think differently. Crosscut sleds are one of the safest ways of um, of using a table saw. A well-made one, I should say. I should preface that. Well-made crosscut sled, one of the safest ways you can um, run a table saw without hurting yourself. You don't have to worry about things flying back at you. Don't have to worry as much about kickback. I'm sure somebody will have a different opinion on that, but it's very important to control the amount of movement and vibration um, on a table saw. It almost feels like too much movement. Well, let's try it out. I think that is too much movement. Right. This is my checker, the one that should always be ready to go. That, I think, see, yeah, I think that's good. That is good. That's good. Yeah. All right. So let's set that aside over here. Pop that out. And I'm going to lubricate and clear out the aperture blades. Now this backer may not seem important, but it is because it keeps this pin at the appropriate level, and there's less chance of it flexing and going inside and not catching on the clutch pin here. So it's very important that that backer piece is there, and one, not interfering with this, but also providing additional straight edge for the top pit blade to run on so that everything tracks appropriately. So I am gonna go check for any zits on the blade, and that looks okay. That one you can see here is something that we should take care of. I've been actually, so this is a sculpting tool for clay, and it works surprisingly well for 3D printing. This flat, straight edge works pretty well to clear out zits. Almost, dare I say, almost better than the razor blade. Um, because this one doesn't leave, so the razor blade leaves a little bit of debris or a little bit of plastic fuzz, but this, since it's an actual straight edge with no real blade, it kind of it removes and compresses the material that's there, which fantastic. Much less cleanup for me. Oh boy, so the sinus infection has been killing me. I wake up every day and I want to punch my face in because the pressure buildup in my face is so ridiculous. Might actually do that after the stream. And it was the right purchase. This DeWalt's 3/8 inch chisel, super sharp right out of the box. I don't have, well, I do have a proper sharpening stone. I just don't want to use it. I hate sharpening things. So this here, you can see that there's, we'll bring the light closer. There's a little bit. Yeah, there we go. You can see there's a little bit of buildup here. And what we can do about that is either use the straight edge on the razor or use this sculpting tool. And I'm going to use the sculpting tool because I think it's actually going to do a better job here. So we're just going to kind of press down and scrape off. And I like, I like this because there's less chance of me removing material, and that's kind of the worry that I have with the razor, is that it's a sharp edge, and it will well, essentially it works like a scraper with woodworking. You're removing tiny amounts of material with each pass, and with this guy, it's literally, or it seems, I guess, more that it's just removing the zits and any imperfections or any artifacts versus actually removing material, um, which also helps with the cleanup because it's not removing material and it's just removing the artifact or the zits. There's less fringing, less furriness with this tool versus the straight edge. Though I did have a straight edge that was, or a straight razor that was very dull, and then I lost it in the mess down here. I do have to use it so that I can get the corners. All right, let's light it up, clear it out. So back to the robotics club my nephew's in. His teacher was talking about redesigning water bottles. Initially, I thought it was. I mean, it is a very good idea, right? But I think in terms of production, the way that they designed the water bottle to be a brick is, I don't think it's tenable from a perspective, from a manufacturing perspective, because they have through holes on the water bottle, which means you can't. I don't think it'd be easy to make a blow mold for bottles, right? Like you couldn't form that in a regular blow mold. Um, Easily, I think, right? With the regular water bottle, it's just a chamber, and you blow it into it, and then it's formed. But through holes on a blow mold, I think is particularly difficult. I think if they figured out how to get past that, yeah, definitely. Um, there we go. I think that's good. I think the simplest solution to that would just be to make indents where the holes should be, or the through holes should be for the rebar. Um, and then from there, they can just what you call it? Yeah, they can just make a regular blow mold off of that, right? Because there's nothing going through the actual material. So I have not heard back from Lomography, and I personally am not surprised. I'm sure they get a bunch of folks sending them sample products. Uh, Maybe I'll follow up with them, or I should follow up with them to see if there's anything that we can do to work together. But hopes are not high at this point. Uh, yeah, hopes are not high. Oh man. So, oh boy, I say that a lot, don't I? So, oh boy, man. Um, but Hunt Showdown released a patch today that introduces a new mechanic to the game. They've introduced a drone type tool, and I don't know why they did that, but I mean, it. I think it changes the meta of the game slightly. You just kind of have to be a little bit more observant, but uh, I think it was a bad move for them to do something like that. That almost makes no sense. Oh, it's Halloween. We're Spooktober, whatever you want to call it, right? So it's getting to spooky season. Uh, because of that, I watched this movie called The Exorcism of God, and people are saying like this is one of the better exorcism movies, in better than your regular ones, right? You can't surpass the quality of the original, The Exorcist. That was super terrifying because I think I was like 8 or 9 when that came out, or when I watched it. But The Exorcist, definitely top tier exorcism movie, top tier horror movie, right? Without too many jump scares and really more relying on like a psychological slow-paced nature, which is kind of what I'm looking for in an exorcism movie. But let me tell you something. The Exorcism of God was not an exorcism movie. It was a spy thriller, if anything, right? A spy thriller, a buddy cop movie. It was not an exorcism movie. It, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, I guess you should stop listening. But in the end, it's revealed that they're exorcising God from this priest, right? So that I guess Baal can have another minion in his army or something like that. And then it's revealed that his daughter is now the chosen one from God. So I mean, it's like this. It's trying to be like a spy thriller. Like to me, it seems like Marvel's Secret War, right? Like who do you know? Who can you trust? who's one of the good guys type thing. And I mean, it was not it was not scary. It was not. Uh, I think it was a questionable watch at the most. And one of the things that bothers me about these Exorcist movies is that, to make their exorcism work, all they do is shout Latin louder, right? And like it reminds me of, you going to a foreign country and then yelling your spoken language louder, hoping that the foreign locals will understand you. Like, does that really work? Does shouting something louder really, really work? No, it doesn't, you know? Just so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to remove some debris on the blade, on the aperture blade. And what it is it's part of the print bed. So PETG has a tendency to uh, hold very tight to the print surface. So if the adhesion is pretty good, or if the adhesion is very good on your bed, more than likely parts of it are going to come up with the PETG. That's good. So I'm still looking for a good movie to start this Halloween season, and I think it might have to be The Descent. I've seen The Descent before, but it's such a good movie. It's so creepy. Either that or It, but I don't know. Maybe not. Perfect. Oops. Let's see if that works. Perfect. Yeah, it closes at about the same rate. Good, 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 good. Just gonna clean it up now. we are good to go. Let me check this guy. All right, let's get some grease in there. Just going to grease that and the back of this guy. Drop that guy at the top. Huh. Guess I'm not going through. Something. Oh, oops. Yeah, there we go. Right, that works now. That guy. Set that aside. Clean this guy off. Huh. Something is tripping the. So I just had an event with the surge protectors, or with the backup batteries. I think it's okay. I don't need to go check the breaker. But the printer is still printing. Yeah. So we're okay. Yeah. I just had an episode there, but everything is fine. The backups batteries have been like a lifesaver. So they only provide maybe 10 minutes max in terms of backup power, but they've been enough so that I can run over to check the breaker and rectify any issues. Usually it's just some other plug that's been that's tripped the ground or tripped the GFCI. Once I reset the breaker and reset the GFCI, everything comes back up. Everything comes back up. And none of the prints are ruined because they have the battery power still going, which is fantastic. There was a point in time where um, I was running 3-ups, backups, whatever you want to call them, and it kept tripping the the outlet. I was like, "What is going on?" And then I realized that the load that was being put on the circuit breaker was too much, and I had to find a different socket on a different circuit or on a different breaker so that it wouldn't trip it. I guess let's shoot an email to Lomography later too. Oh, you guys heard about this price hike with USPS? I think postage is like going up a percentage point, maybe like 5 or 6%. Kind of bonkers. not particularly happy about that, but I guess what can you do, right? Oh, so some of the panels might not be 5K. They're quad HD, which is like 2K, 2.5K. Um, which I mean, it's still fine, right? But for the 5K version, I believe it's like 150 to like 200 for that panel, um, which all in all is not too bad either. I don't think. Well, to me, that price point for 5K LCD with good color reproduction and good brightness and saturation response level, I think it's perfectly fine. It's like 200 bucks, right? With the controller. Perfect. Oh God. I am excited for the return of Stranger Things. Now, I'm gonna level with you guys. I hadn't watched Stranger Things until this past year. Um, I may or may not have a thing about watching what's popular in popular culture or what's trending. Um, but I think Stranger Things, great show, great actors, great show, great story. Um, I'm excited for season 5 and the finale to see where it goes. And I am excited about the Community movie. 6 seasons and a movie, guys. Come on. Where's my blower? Uh, yeah, I'm really hoping that Yvette Brown and uh, Donald Glover come back for it. Uh, I didn't like too much season 6. I mean, it was funny, and the new cast members were good. Paget Brewster and Breaking Bad guy. But having as much of the core group come back, it would be great. Um, I know Donald Glover is pretty busy doing almost everything else, right? Music, shows, etc., etc. But it would be great if he could come back. Um, and the same goes for you, that Nicole Brown. Ah, that's good. There's a little bit of a hiccup. I think it cleared up. Perfect. No, much better. It's writing somewhere. See if we can't clean up the interior a little bit. Let me see how it works with this guy in there. It's a little tough, right? If we were to, oh, it's actually fine. All right, let's go ahead and lubricate. Clean and lube. That's much better. That is actually much better. Perfect. Light it up. I believe that's good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Drop that in. Give me a second here. I'm going to change the music. Vente pa acá. It was so strange to find Darius Rucker singing this. Is it a departure from Hootie and the Blowfish? Hootie's like alternative, right? Oh, rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Me, mama, is a way for you. Old Crow Medicine Man. I think both versions are good. Old Crow Medicine Show. That's the guy. Huh. There's something in the way there. Yeah. Yeah, it's dragging a little there. So this the bottom blade is dragging a little, and it's not going fully extending. Let's see what's going on there. It's getting caught somewhere to the point where it won't actually. Oh, there it is. Tennessee whiskey, Chris Stapleton. Perfect. So what's next? We're going to be playing next. Uh, I'm sure you guys have heard this one. This is one of my favorite covers of 500 Miles from Peter, Paul, and Mary. Um, I'm partial to the original, but I kind of like this one more. Um, I don't know. But I do have the original record that this song was on for Peter, Paul, and Mary. And then I, for some reason, picked up one of Joan Baez's records, and fantastic. Even today, still fantastic. Um, yeah, I picked it up on a whim at a thrift store, um, and I thought it'd be interesting to listen to, and it's fantastic. Folk singers from the '60s, man. And then I also got the soundtrack for 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I think it's okay. I don't know. Movie was good. Um, Soundtrack, yeah, so-so. But I will say this about movie soundtracks. I think who's that guy? Uh, Daniel Pemberton um, is, I think, one of the greatest uh, musical artists out there. Like all of his songs, super energetic, very fitting. Um, the soundtrack to Man from Uncle, the 2011-2012 movie, fantastic. Um, but more so, a recent movie, Rogue Squadron, Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One. Yes, Star Wars Rogue One. Um, while being a fantastic movie, its soundtrack is amazing. I think that's the way you have to do homages to nostalgia, you know? Because I mean, that's all it is, really. It's just a movie about nostalgia, about a group of people who, about the Bothans who sacrificed their life to get the plans to the Death Star. But the story is pretty good. I think Rogue One is probably one of the better modern Star Wars movies. Obi-Wan, I did not like. I don't think there was a reason for Obi-Wan, and in all honesty, I think Obi-Wan does more harm than he does good. He literally lets that one lady die. Right? He has this tool that can block laser beams, but he runs ahead of everybody instead of blocking the lasers. Hey, speak of the devil, it's Joan Baez covering 500 Miles. Oh boy. Something's wrong there. Let's open it up. What is causing that to not move? Let's see the action by itself. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Joan Baez version. Oh, 1 second here, guys. Six-toe Rodriguez. So I watched the Finding Sugarman uh, documentary on Six-toe Rodriguez. It's fantastic. Um, it's he was. I mean, listening to it now, he is. I mean, I don't know why he wasn't bigger than he was. Sixto. He accurately captured a lot of what the '60s folks were doing. It just what bothers me the most about Sixto is that he's such a humble dude. Even after being rediscovered, he's still super super humble, and it bothers me that I can't be like that. You know. I can't just be content. He seems so content, so happy with life, you know? And there we go, much better. It's just it's to me it's I think he's somebody that I strive to be like. You know, he's super humble and he's okay with his life. You know, I am not okay with my life. Um, you know, there's got to be more to it, right? But he was big in South Africa and with Dave Matthews. I did not know Dave Matthews was South African. Um, but yeah, I think that's why I watched the documentary. This guy is influenced like a generation of musical artists and was perfectly content living his life as a regular dude. Perfect. So I've been thinking more and more about switching over um, primarily to FreeCAD. Like I'm okay with I enjoy the flexibility that Shapered 3D offers, but the parametric nature of FreeCAD and proper non-parasolid CAD softwares is unquestionably um, a major positive for them, you know? Uh, it's just getting a grip on how to design in them and understanding how to think as a parametric designer because it is very different than pushing and pulling and stuff like that. It's just I still get a little frustrated with how you navigate around in FreeCAD, but I think I'm starting to get used to it and things are starting to make sense. Uh, but I think I just need to spend more time in FreeCAD, but I do want to move over to FreeCAD or some parametric modeling software. And if I get uh, the Einscan H, I'm gonna have to learn how to use it because they come with something called Solid Edge, which is a CAD software from Siemens, but it's geared and well, it is a version for uh, Shining 3D, which is the parent company who makes the what do you call it? The Einscan H. And if I don't learn it now, it's just going to be harder later on. So I mean, if I learn it now, I have the ability to think in such a way that it makes sense when I use Solid Edge. You know, um, I don't think learning FreeCAD is going to do me a disservice, especially when um, it is built around the same methodology, I guess, as Shining Edge or any other parametric CAD software like SolidWorks or something like that. Right? It's tools are easy to learn. It's the thinking that is hard to maintain, right? So I mean, I think I'm gonna have to add it to the tools, right? Much as I'm gonna be banging my head against the wall to figure out how things work. I think I gotta do it now. I'm trying to find an original pressing of Rodriguez's Cold Facts. You can find a modern day pressing, but I would like one of the original pressings, and I think it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Or if I get lucky at a thrift store or at a estate sale, I might be able to find Six Toes Cold Facts. Oh boy, it is already 7:30. Um, Time flies by when I'm talking into the void. And slowly but surely losing my mind. Talking to myself in the basement, in the 3D printer room. I said I was going to get a new mic. I do have it. I just don't have the mount set up yet. I don't know how I want to do it. All right. All right. Oh, and speaking of STLs that I'm releasing, I should be releasing the Lomo LCA STL soon. Um, I think I've got to do a few tweaks on tolerances so that it'll print correctly for everyone and assemble as easily as possible. But it should be coming out soon. I'm probably going to do some tweaks to it and then print it and verify that it works. And once I verify that it works, I should have it out. I've got to sit down and work on it for a little bit. But with having to make all of these, it's not finding enough time uh, to do it. That's good. Very good. Good. Oh man. Um, so I believe Brendan Fraser said he was up for a Mummy 4, which I'm totally down for. You know, I love the Mummy series, not the Tom Cruise one, but Brendan Fraser, Rachel's Weiss, fantastic. It was definitely one of my favorite movies of my formative years, I guess my early years. Though I had the oddest experience. So the Mummy. What? So when I was out in Bali or out in Indonesia, I experienced for the first time what they call um, the old hag, or the. It's like when you feel like somebody's sitting on your chest and you can't move. Sleep paralysis. That's it. That's what they call it. But I experienced that for the first time. First time I was at my buddy's place and I was rudely awakened by this stupid dream. Like I was the first time. So there's this painting sitting next to his couch, and I was sleeping there. I was knocked out, kind of enjoying myself, just going to sleep. I was house sitting while they were out, and either I'm partially awake or I'm still sleeping and I'm just vividly dreaming. But all I can remember was I was trying to open my eyes, and every time I did, I would just see the painting which came to life as like a ghost or something, and its eyes were glowing all red, hair floating in the air, and I'm sitting there, I'm just trying to get off the couch, right? And every time I get up and I run outside, uh, I'm outside and I'm safe, right? But then a few seconds later, I'm back in the couch, struggling to open my eyes, and I'm trying to get out of the house, and I can't because every time I do, um, I'm thrown back onto the couch, struggling to open my eyes, struggling to move. But so eventually, what I've heard and what I've been told from my brother is that you just kind of have to will yourself out of these things. Um, so on the last attempt to move and open my eyes, I get up and then I push the ghost's head into the wall, right? Well, back into the painting, and then I'm up. And for the strangest reason, my eyes were hurting, like I had been struggling to open them for like an hour or two, which is exactly what I was doing. But the second time, I was knocked out in my room, and I wake up and I can't move. But in the corner of my room, I see the mummy, like slowly crawling towards me. I'm like, "Grr!" uh, so I get back into that, will yourself out of this thing, um, state of mind. So I'm just sitting there. This mummy is slowly crawling towards me, and I'm doing everything I can to get out of it. Thankfully, this one wasn't as long, uh, or as vivid, right? It was just it's like, oh yeah, it's just this thing. All right, let's get it done. But first time experiencing that, super terrifying, man, super terrifying. But that was the first, second, and last time I've ever experienced that. I'm okay not experiencing it again. I just don't like that feeling of helplessness, being stuck, um, not being able to do anything. Ooh. Hi guys. Well, this stream is slowly winding down. Uh, so yeah, I'll keep on working and assembling these lenses. I think this Friday will just be assembly stuff. I don't have much else to talk about. We did the FreeCAD stuff. Uh, I will provide some resources for FreeCAD next Friday or this Friday, so that you guys are interested in learning how to use it. You guys have some materials to look at. Um, um, so after this, I'm probably gonna email or uh, shoot Lomography a message to follow up. Um, Hopefully they can get back to me, um, and hopefully they don't think I'm just some crazed guy, right? So again, like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure that they get a lot of these um, messages or packages with lens ideas and stuff like that. But I'm hoping, I'm hoping they can see something with what I'm doing. If not, well, can't be helped, right? Cannot be helped. $54. There we go. That's good. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Um, the printing continues, and so does the assembly. Oh, no! Yeah, so I will catch you guys on Friday. I'll have some resources for FreeCAD if you're interested. Be doing some more assembly work on Friday, but that should be it for today. Appreciate you guys for stopping by if you did. I am slowly losing my mind here, guys. Slowly but surely, my mind is floating into the ether. I'll see you guys on Friday.